Hi everyone, so my name's Sanita and I'm here again today to do a session on red flags or warning signs for abusers slash perpetrators. So to start with, I'm just going to talk from kind of my experience from what I found with my ex-husband. So one of the first signs that I saw was the relationship was moving way too fast. This is at the start, so the initial phases. So just to kind of give you some timelines and some time frames, my ex-husband had introduced me to his mum after 2 weeks. Literally 2 weeks. I'd only known him 2 weeks. We hadn't even seen each other every day within those 2 weeks. It was every few days or something. But after 2 weeks, he introduced me to his mum, and I was highly uncomfortable with that. But he chose to go against everything that I had to say or anything that I felt, and just went with his pace that he wanted. The second thing is, well, and also actually, yeah, he actually proposed after 4 months. It would have been 3, but I was particularly ill the day he was supposed to propose to me. So it got delayed a few weeks. So he proposed after 4 months. So again, quite a short period, and had practically begged me to move in with him after 3 months. But I had my own house. I had my own independence. So it was very difficult for me to kind of walk away from that. But he was very, very manipulative and gave me all this speech. And so, yes, I ended up moving in with him very, very early. So just to kind of put it into perspective for you, the relationship can move very, very fast. And that could be that it's just the perpetrator taking control of the relationship and doing things at their pace. So that's kind of like the first warning sign. If you're feeling uncomfortable, you want to slow things down, then please do voice that and let them know that you just want to slow things down. Because it could be that it's just one of those kind of balance things that your other half just doesn't know that. But it can also be a warning sign for perpetrators. So just to make you aware. I guess the second warning sign is, these are in no particular order, by the way. This is just what's coming to the top of my head. So something that resonated with me that I had no idea until after I'd actually left the relationship and done some research and spoke to professionals. So my ex had he would joke, not joke, he would talk about violent examples with his previous girlfriends, and I always thought this was really odd, because he would put out the example that, or a particular story in the past where his ex-girlfriend had punched him in the face, and I thought, this is weird that a girl had punched him, and he portrayed himself as a victim and how he was so hard done by, and he'd had damage to his jaw, and he went into quite a bit of detail as well. And I was like, wow, I felt really sorry for him, felt bad for him, and I completely bought the story. But actually having basically talking about violence with ex-partners is a warning sign that the person is a perpetrator, because what they quite often do is they reverse the roles of where the violence came from, so that they are the victim. So that is something to be aware of, that I was told by my ex-partner, but I had no idea that it was a warning sign. And then just on the topic of ex-partners as well, something else that he would do is, when I would ask him about his past, or just say, what was his most long-term relationship, there was always this theme. And the theme was, there was no relationship that went on past a year. And he told me about how his ex-girlfriends were psychopaths and they're crazy and violent. So of course I was like, well, yeah, he wouldn't have stuck with them for past a year if they were like this. So it makes sense. But yeah, he had an answer for everything. And the other thing being that so obviously he had an answer for everything. The relationships didn't go on for that long, but he was very cagey, very, very cagey about talking about the past. So he would ask me everything about my past, and I would be open and honest because I had nothing to hide. You know, I'd say it as it was. And whereas when I returned those questions back to him, he just put up this wall, and would say he didn't want to talk about it, he didn't want to talk about his past. He would only give me little snippets, and he would feed this story that he was this victim. And so, of course, all the stories that I had was ex-girlfriend punched him in the face, ex-girlfriend was crazy, ex-girlfriend used to send him these disgusting, abusive text messages every morning. And I was like, okay, so I get why he didn't want to perhaps talk about his past relationships, and why he would say, let's just focus on the present, which is absolutely true, you should. So I completely accepted that he didn't want to talk about the past. So they're just a few things that he used to do. Not talk about the past relationships, ex-partners being violent when actually the roles were reversed, and things moving too fast in the initial stages of the relationship. And another thing that I just want to say is he used to joke about violence as well with me, and I had no idea that that was, again, a sign and a warning sign, a red flag for that person being an abuser. So an example, he would say to me, do you want a punch in the tits? And I'd be like, excuse me? And it was really crude. It wasn't like just any joke. Like, it was a really crude joke, and I really wasn't comfortable with it. So, like usual, I would voice and I would say, can you not say that, please? If you don't like it when you say that. Did he stop? No. So, of course, he carried on until it became like a normal thing. It was like a norm for him to say this joke to me, to the point where it was just part of him being him. Not saying that I'd condoned it, but I couldn't stop him from saying it. And what I didn't know was that it was basically a sign for him to test me, to test my tolerance to violence, is what it can be. So yeah, and then anything that just another sign that can be is just anything to do with play fighting. So if they hurt you and they say, oh, we're just play fighting, but you know you wasn't play fighting, again, it's a sign, it's a test to see what your tolerance is to violence. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then just one last thing very, very quickly, is if they do this emotional kind of punishment where they just don't talk to you, they go on silent, give you the silent treatment for days. So silent treatment is one thing. So if you're angry and you need your own time for a couple of hours, that is one thing. However, with abusers, what they tend to do is they want to punish you. And because they want to punish you, what they do is they will completely shut you out. Mentally, physically, just you do not exist to them. If you phone, call, text, being in the same house with them, they'll just completely ignore you. And they won't just do it for 1 day or 2 days or 3. It can go on for weeks, literally weeks on end. I think our longest was maybe 2.5, maybe 3 weeks, where he would just not speak to me. Sometimes he would leave the country, I would never know where he was. I literally just couldn't get hold of him, wouldn't answer my calls, wouldn't read my messages, nothing. And that is just a form of punishment. But the way I saw it was, the way he portrayed it to me was, oh, this is me, this is how I deal with my anger, you should just accept me for who I am, I'm not you. Like I said, he had an answer for everything. So I believed this. Naive me believed this, and I had no idea that it was a warning sign, that he was actually emotionally tormenting me and punishing me, rather than just giving me the silent treatment. So I just wanted to make that, just get that out there, that there are several other warning signs as well, but these are just a few that kind of came to mind. So I hope this helped. I hope this is helps somebody see something which they haven't seen before. And if you have been affected by anything within this video, please, please, please do reach out to anybody either within your network, friends or family, or reach out to myself. You can contact me on my Instagram page, which is Connecting Women Together. So it's all about connecting us together. And I'll pop that in the description below. If on the other hand, you know, you've been there, you've done that, and you just like this video, or somebody else might benefit from it, then please share it. Please like it, and also please subscribe if you'd like to hear some more. And I'd just like to say thank you so much for listening, and please keep smiling at the person in the mirror. Thank you.